So be honest with me for a second. When you sit down and think about the exact amount of money you'd need to feel, truly wealthy, what number pops into your head? For a lot of us, it's $1 million. Or maybe it's finally crossing that six-figure salary mark. But what if I told you that practically every financial guru out there has this completely wrong? The difference between perception and reality here is just staggering. On one side, you've got this daunting $1 million guru myth. It feels like an impossible finish line, right? But the reality? The reality is a highly actionable, super grounded number, $20,000. And this smaller number isn't just a stepping stone. It's literally the ultimate threshold that completely flips the script on your financial life. It actually rewires your brain and your future. Welcome to today's Explainer. We're going to completely break down the real mechanics of wealth building using a really powerful before and after transformation. We'll look at the fascinating financial psychology behind it, and we're going to see exactly why $20,000 is the invisible barrier that separates the people who build massive wealth from the people who, well, stay stuck. Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our agenda for today. First, escaping survival mode. Number 2, the math of momentum. Third, walking away money, and finally, we'll cover the opportunity cost trap. Let's get right into it. Part 1, escaping survival mode. Look, when you don't have money saved up, your brain is operating in pure survival mode. Every single decision you make gets filtered through fear and scarcity. You end up taking terrible jobs, you stay in toxic situations, and you say yes to things you absolutely hate, just because you need the cash. Your brain literally cannot process growth or opportunity. It's exactly like trying to plan a relaxing beach vacation while your house is actively on fire. Your mental bandwidth is just completely eaten up by immediate threats. But here is where the data gets incredibly encouraging. And this isn't just self-help fluff either. Research from Vanguard actually proves this. They found that having just $2,000 in emergency savings creates a massive 21% boost in your overall financial well-being. Think about that. That's less than what a lot of people spend on a single vacation, but it pulls you right out of that state of pure panic and actually starts giving you some real room to breathe. And this brilliantly illustrates what happens next. If you can push that emergency fund to cover 3 to 6 months of living expenses, which for most people lands right around that $20,000 mark, you get another 13% boost in well-being. But more importantly, you completely unlock the mental bandwidth to stop asking, how do I survive, and start proactively asking, how can I grow? Just think about this real-world before and after scenario. Before you hit this threshold, an unexpected car repair is a catastrophic financial disaster, right? It totally derails your entire month. But after $20,000, that exact same event is just a minor, temporary inconvenience. Having this cash buffer shifts those everyday emergencies totally out of your way, which allows you to finally look around and spot true opportunities, like maybe a great investment or a career leap that you can actually afford to take. Moving right along to part 2, the math of momentum. I want you to think of wealth building like pushing an incredibly heavy boulder up a steep hill. Getting that thing started is just agonizing. You're straining, you're sweating, and you are making very, very little progress. Honestly, getting to that first $20,000 feels a lot like fighting gravity. But once you crest that hill, oh man, the momentum takes over and gravity starts working in your favor. It actually starts doing the heavy lifting for you. Mathematically speaking, this acceleration is just incredible. Let's say you save $1,000 a month and get an 8% return. That first $20,000 is going to take about 19 hard months of discipline. But watch what happens next. Your second $20,000, it doesn't take another 19 months, it takes 17. You're putting in the exact same work, but your money is now actively working right alongside you. Fast forward to when your portfolio hits $400,000, generating your next 20 grand takes just 5 months. It's the exact same discipline, but it's yielding exponentially faster results. So the crucial point here is this. People often think the wealthy have access to these secret, exclusive investments. Actually, scratch that, they don't. A 10% return on $2,000 is $200, which is nice, sure, but it's not exactly life-changing. But apply that exact same 10% return to $20,000, boom, you've just made $2,000 without lifting a single finger. The strategy isn't any different. It's simply the basic math of scale transforming small percentage wins into huge, life-changing progress. But beyond the pure math of it all, generating this sum forces an incredible identity shift. I mean, to save this much from zero, you had to track every dollar. You had to say no to shiny new objects. You consistently delayed gratification. Because of that, You no longer sweat the $4 artisanal coffee or even feel guilty about it because you've proven to yourself that you have the discipline for the really big sacrifices. You've figured out how to control your money instead of letting your money control you. Which brings us to part 3, walking away money. So walking away money is pretty much exactly what it sounds like. It's a financial buffer that literally allows you to quit your job tomorrow and comfortably survive for months while you go out and find a better opportunity. It is the absolute ultimate shield against a toxic boss or just totally mind-numbing work. When you're living paycheck to paycheck, you are essentially trapped. You have a terribly weak negotiating position because, let's face it, you can't afford to push back or risk getting fired. You're desperate. But with walking away money, you operate from a position of absolute strength. You can negotiate fearlessly. And the beautiful thing about this buffer is that you often don't even need to use it. Just knowing that cash is sitting right there in your bank account totally changes your entire demeanor. And this confident demeanor, it creates a massive positive feedback loop at work. When you're confident and fearless, what happens? Well, you naturally start receiving better assignments. People notice your assertiveness, which leads to recognition, which leads to raises, which in turn accelerates your wealth building even more. It's kind of like having a secret superpower in the office that just naturally attracts more success and more money to you. And finally, part 4, the opportunity cost trap. Okay, so right after you feel this incredible psychological relief of hitting that 20K milestone, there is a devastating mistake you absolutely must avoid. Please let this quote sink in for a second. That $20,000 is not a reward for good behavior. It's the foundation of your entire financial future. So many people hit this threshold, feel flush with cash, and immediately blow it on some luxury item, an expensive vacation, or maybe a down payment on a car they can't truly afford. Do not destroy your foundation just as you finish pouring the concrete. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it reframes the reality of massive purchases. Let's look at buying a new $30,000 car versus investing that exact same amount. The car loses 20% of its value the literal second you drive it off the lot. You are actively destroying your wealth. Meanwhile, that same $30,000 invested, that could grow to over $200,000 in 20 years. Reframing this reveals the true cost of a car payment. It's not just $600 a month. You are literally trading away hundreds of thousands of dollars in future freedom. No way is that worth it. Ultimately, getting past this $20,000 threshold means you can stop agonizing over micro decisions, like whether to buy a $3 coffee or grabbing the generic brand of cereal. True financial independence comes from managing your macro decisions strategically. It's about optimizing the massive choices like housing, transportation, and your investments. Getting those right frees up so much mental energy so you don't have to be a penny-pinching miser about the everyday joys of life. So we're going to leave you with this final provocative question. Will you react to life or will you design it? Because hitting that $20,000 mark isn't just about the money. It's about making the active choice to stop surviving and start thriving. It's about designing a life with actual options. So start building that foundation today because your future self is absolutely counting on you. Thanks so much for joining us on this explainer, and we will see you next time.